we are reading The Great God Pan. Playing Jamie.
Nickolaus, Ewers.
Playing Frank.
John Squires.
Playing Paige.
Kaitlyn Mitchell.
Playing Cathy.
Stefanie Vinopal.
Playing Doug.
Larry Gutman.
Playing Joelle.
Aaliyah Harris.
And playing Polly.
Liz Bove.
The Great God Pan, Scene 1. A coffee shop. Two men in their early 30s having coffee. Jamie is a good-looking and fairly clean-cut Brooklynite. Frank is a multiply pierced, somewhat effeminate, wounded soul. They make an unlikely duo. A short pause where they wonder who will take responsibility for the conversation.
And have you seen Polly?
I visited her in the home. Was it last summer? It might have been 2 years ago now.
Home?
She's in a nursing home.
That old?
She's gotta be in her 80s.
Really?
Well, she was in her 50s when we were little.
Was she?
I think so, yeah.
I think of her as like 35.
No, she's older than our parents.
Is she still with it, or?
She knew who I was, but it was definitely really sad.
She was such a good babysitter.
Best.
Do you remember the signs of the spring? She would point out all the signs of spring, each one as it, like the snowdrops and the crocuses and the buds on the, she called it the signs of spring. You don't remember?
I have a terrible memory.
I still think about that every year.
If I visit her, when I visit her, I'll bring that up. She'll love that. She'll be happy that we saw each other.
It's great that you stayed in touch with her.
Well, my parents stayed in touch with her better, especially before she went to the home. You guys moved such a long time ago.
I think about that a lot. How my life would have been different if my dad hadn't gotten that job. If I had stayed in Highland Park, kept going to Polly's, gone to school with you.
Who knows?
You were always her favorite. No, you were smart and well-behaved.
I don't know. And you're in Ithaca now?
Yep. Yeah. My boyfriend.
What do you do?
I'm a massage therapist.
Cool. Very cool.
Congratulations on being a famous journalist.
I'm not a famous journalist.
Well, you're all over the internet. You were very easy to find.
Thank you.
You did a Fulbright, right?
Oh God, almost 10 years ago.
Well, I don't even know what that is, but I know it's awesome.
Thanks. I don't even really know what that is, but I know it was cool. Yeah, dude, thanks.
And I don't see a ring, but.
I'm married. No, I haven't done that yet.
But I'm sure you have a girlfriend.
I do. Yes, Paige.
Paige. I like that name.
Me too.
She's a journalist too?
She used to be a dancer, but she got injured, so she had to retire early. Now she's a licensed nutritionist, and she's getting her MSW so she can get better address the whole mind.
Oh, that's great. That's exactly the kind of thing I'm into.
Right. Sure, massage. That's like exactly.
I'd love to talk to her.
Yeah.
And you look exactly like, you know those, for missing kids, they use that like age advancing technology.
Uh-huh.
That's what I thought when I saw your picture online. I was like, that's exactly what Jamie would look like. Because the last time we saw each other, we were, I think, 7. Sorry, maybe a weird thing to say.
No, it's just you look very different.
So I mentioned in my email that I needed to tell you something.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to be so mysterious about it, but it's the kind of thing I thought you should hear in person.
Okay.
I also thought you might have an idea what it is.
No.
Really?
I haven't seen you in 25 years. I have no idea.
Okay, I believe you. Sorry, this is my first one of these meetings. I haven't figured out how to do this yet.
Take your time, dude.
Yeah. Thanks. All right. Rip off the Band-Aid, right? I'm in the process of opening a criminal case against my father for sexual abuse.
Oh, man.
So,
Oh, Frank, I'm so sorry, man. Did you just remember, or?
yes. Well, it's complicated.
Sure.
There were things that I remembered that I chose not to think about, and then there were things I didn't remember until recently, and then there were the things that he's recently described to me that I still don't remember yet.
He's cooperating then?
That's not exactly the word I would use, but he's copping to it, yeah.
How's your mom?
Not so good. She's divorcing him after 36 years.
She had no idea?
Well, that's complicated too. So this is the hard part.
Oh.
We had a meeting a few years ago, mediated by my parents' minister, and I asked my father if he had ever hurt any of my friends.
Wow.
Which is why I thought you might have some idea what I wanted to
No,
talk to
I
you
know.
about.
I gotta be honest. This doesn't really ring a. I mean, I'll think more about it. But my first response? No, not familiar.
I guess just the one thing I would like to say is that if you do remember anything and you would be willing to talk to the detectives, that could really help. Because I want to make sure he can't hurt anyone else, you know? He taught Sunday school for 10 years, Jamie. When I was older and not as interesting to him anymore. So I just want to make sure he can't take off and start a new life somewhere else, and touch another little kid, you know?
I understand, man. I think what you're doing is great and really brave, but I don't remember anything. Sorry, maybe one of the others meetings you'll have more luck.
Well, based on what he described, I thought you would be the most likely one to remember. That's all.
Yeah, sorry, no, I'm so sorry that happened to you, man.
Thanks. If you have to go,
yeah, shit, I'm a little late for a meeting.
I apologize if I did this. If it was clumsy or I made you
No,
uncomfortable.
dude, don't worry about it.
Really happy to see you, Jamie. I know you don't feel the same way about me, but I just want you to know that. And I'm sorry we had to meet like this, because those years meant a lot to me, and I still really care about you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Not a problem.
You have all my info in case you do want to get in touch.
Yep. Good luck, man.
Bye, Jamie. Jamie.
What, dude?
I know you know this, but it's nothing to be ashamed of.
Scene 2, Jamie's apartment. Paige is watching TV. She looks up as Jamie enters, then looks miserably back at the TV. Jamie stands and looks at her for a long moment.
Paige. I owe you an apology. I'm sorry. I freaked out. I wasn't prepared for that, and I freaked out, and I'm sorry. And I want to start over with the conversation. I want to forget about last night, start over.
I don't know how we can start over when you've already made your feelings so incredibly clear.
Those weren't my feelings. That was shock.
That was shitty.
Yes.
That was really fucking shitty, Jamie. I thought about going to my sister's. I thought about leaving.
I'm glad you didn't.
Well, I thought one of us had to behave like an actual adult.
I'm glad you're here. I was scared you wouldn't be here. I'm so happy to see you.
Okay, talk.
Well, first of all, I want you to know that I don't blame you for anything. I know it may have seemed like I did at the time.
And it did seem that way, especially when you kept saying, what the fuck happened over and over again, as though it's totally my responsibility, as though you think I might have done it on purpose.
So I'm apologizing for that.
Do you?
What?
Think I did it on purpose?
No, I don't.
Okay, go on.
And second, I want to say that I consider this an open conversation. I want to hear what you want. That's what I didn't do last night. I didn't ask you what you want.
You didn't.
Which should have been my first question.
Yes, it should have been.
So I'm asking you now.
I want to have it. I mean, of course I want to have it.
Okay. Why?
Why?
Please don't snap at me, Paige. I want to hear your reasons.
Because I love you and I don't know what you're waiting for. That's probably the main reason. Because I'm 34 and I don't take it for granted that I'm going to have a lot more chances. Because I think we'd be great fucking parents. But I just feel so humiliated saying these things to you because I know you're not sure of me the way I'm sure of you and you don't want to commit to this. So I think that's that.
No, that's not that. I'm listening to you. I'm hearing what you're saying.
I know, baby. That's what you do. You always listen to me. You listen. You don't act.
I need a little time. Come on, that's not unreasonable. It's a huge decision.
It's not fair for me to carry this thing around not knowing.
Just a week. I think you're probably right. I mean, I think we should probably, what am I afraid of, right? Just a week. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. How's work?
I skipped class and canceled both my appointments. I didn't feel like I had any business counseling anybody today.
So what did you do?
I sat here and pitied myself. What do you think?
Did you at least call your sister?
No, I can't. I don't know. Be witnessed right now?
But...
Baby, you're in no position to scold me about not talking about my feelings, okay?
Fair.
It was really hard giving you the silent treatment all day because I was dying to find out what your friend had to tell you.
Who?
Your childhood friend, Frank.
Oh, it was a pretty heavy, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it turns out his father molested him.
Oh, God.
Apparently, he's just figuring it out.
Do you remember him?
His father? No, I can't picture him. I think he was tall.
Probably all grown-ups seem tall.
Yeah, I think he was tall, though, and skinny with glasses, kind of nervous, like hovering.
He definitely sounds like a child molester.
Yeah, maybe. I don't actually remember him. Maybe I'm just inserting.
So you just wanted to make contact with old friends?
I guess so. It was awkward. I remember him being a really needy kid. He kind of used to follow me around, and he's still like that, only bigger and gay, very gay.
Oh, baby, you weren't weird, were you? You're always so weird with gay men.
What? No, I'm not.
You get all macho. Man, this, dude, that. It's really good to see you, dude.
No, I don't.
I bet you anything you did.
I didn't.
I hope you were nice to him.
I was. I wasn't really sure what he wanted from me.
Probably just to talk. It's a big deal to find out you've been sexually abused. It really fucks people up.
He's an adult. I mean, he's lived a whole life since then.
Maybe.
What do you mean, maybe?
I mean, maybe he's never really gotten that far from it. Like, I think when that kind of thing happens, you can get, stuck.
You mean maybe that's why he's gay?
What? God, you're such a Neanderthal.
Sorry, I'm not exactly educated on the subject.
You can see all kinds of symptoms in sexual abuse victims of fears about intimacy, dysfunction in relationships, sexual dysfunction, all of which straight people can have just as easily as gay people.
What are you saying?
What?
Nothing. I was just kidding.
It's very touching that he reached out to you. I think you should try to be there for him.
I don't know him.
Obviously, he still feels a connection to you.
Okay, that's totally ridiculous.
I don't think it is, and I think it would be good for you.
I'll think about it.
Sorry. I've been feeling bad since I said the word sexual dysfunction. I don't want you to think that was some passive...
I don't have that problem anymore.
No, you've been great. Apparently you've been too great. A week.
Scene 3, Jamie's parents' house in New Jersey. Cathy is off stage.
That's great.
I don't know if it's great. It's something.
Is it health insurance?
No, sadly, no. No health insurance.
Oh,
Virtually none of these jobs come with health insurance.
oh, I know, honey. It's absolutely criminal. This is the kind of tea your father called sweepings from the forest floor. But I like it. It has, I forget what it has in it, but there's some kind of health benefits. Memory, maybe?
Ginkgo biloba?
No. I take that in a pill. I don't think they figured out how to put it in tea yet. Go on about the job.
That's pretty much it. It's a regular column, and I'll get to contribute to some editorial decisions.
So you'll be able to do some copywriting?
Well, no, not completely.
Oh, honey, I'm asking all the wrong questions. Just ignore me. Say what you were saying.
That's it. I've told you everything.
Well, the most important thing is being excited about your new colleagues.
Yeah, they're awesome. I'm in a great company.
Well, I'm going to look it up online as you go, and I'll email you something very intelligent to make up for all my gaps.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
And it's just that you're such a talented writer, and so much of what I read, I mean, the New York Times, for crying out loud.
I know.
And the piece you wrote about the Sudanese family in Queens, I'm still hearing about it from friends who say it just stayed with them. You remember Josie Weltman? Well, she's married to Anton in Dad's department. Anyway, she thought it was just incredible, and she's a writer herself. I thought it was a shame that it wasn't published somewhere more. People would see it.
It's okay, Mom. I'm doing okay.
I know. How's Paige?
She's fine.
How's Rufus?
What?
How's Rufus?
Mom, Rufus died.
What?
Did I not tell you that?
When?
Like 6 months ago.
6 months ago?
Are you sure I didn't tell you that?
What happened?
We're not sure. We think he ate poison. It happened pretty fast.
Oh, Rufus.
How is it possible I didn't tell you that?
I don't know. I'm furious at you, frankly.
I'm sorry.
It's not like we haven't talked.
No, I guess you didn't ask, and I was
Am I supposed to ask every time we talk, how is Rufus? Is he dead? I trust you to tell me things.
I'm really sorry, Mom.
He was the last of a long line.
I know. He was a good little guy.
He was. So what made you come out here? Not that I'm not delighted to see you. I am. It's only an hour, but we never see you.
You guys could come into the city.
We could, but it's loud and it's dirty and the traffic and there are no grandchildren yet to entice us. Did I say that out loud?
You can complain about not seeing me or get in the car and drive to Brooklyn. One or the other.
I want to come, but your father...
He says it's you.
I worry that I'm bothering you. Paige seems... I don't know.
No, what?
It's a difficult relationship, the in-laws or not quite the in-laws or whatever. I get the sense she needs her space.
She just doesn't know you guys very well. You two actually have a lot in common in terms of your work.
Oh, I won't make the mistake of trying to talk about work with her again.
Okay, that was a misunderstanding.
I wasn't trying to be critical.
I know that, Mom, but it's hard to start a new career at her age.
And I think it's fantastic and courageous. And I said that.
But also the field has changed. You're approaching it from very different angles.
I was trying to be helpful. You think I was condescending.
No. No. I said it was a misunderstanding. And it was 2 years ago.
Listen, you love her, and that's all. That's all. When we retire, we will come and visit you all the time. And you will not be able to get rid of us, especially if there's a grandchildren involved. Just saying.
So, Frank Lawrence got in touch with me. Mom, you're really freaking me out.
Oh, Frank Lawrence, that strange, intense little boy from Polly's house?
He's still pretty insane.
Uh-huh. Gay?
You could tell?
Oh, sure. Oh, yes.
He lives in Ithaca. He's a massage therapist. No, Mom, I think he's actually a massage therapist.
Well, that's nice that he got in touch.
Yeah. He's prosecuting his father for sexual abuse.
Huh?
That's all.
That makes sense. He was a very troubled little boy, and his father was so much more attractive than his mother. That was always a puzzle. She had that problem with her thyroid and those huge protruding eyes. Do you remember that?
Protruding eyes.
They were halfway out of her head. And I was always so afraid it would frighten you.
I don't remember that.
It'll frighten me. Poor little Frank. I guess it should have occurred to us that something awful was happening to him.
You seem very calm about this.
It's been such a long time since we've been in touch with them. It seems, well, maybe this is terrible, but it's like hearing about characters in a book. They just don't seem very real to me anymore.
Well, I had coffee with him. He's very real, very fucked up.
Of course he is. Honey, I'm sorry.
Also, never mind.
No, what?
He thought he had it in his head that something could have happened to me.
To you? Why?
I don't know.
What gave him that idea? Do you think something could have happened to you?
No.
It sounds like a case of misery loves company. That's what it sounds like.
I just thought I should tell you, since I have a terrible memory. I thought if anything had happened, I would have told you.
Well, I certainly hope so.
Okay. So forget it.
And I don't like that at all, him contacting you out of the blue and getting you all upset.
I'm not all upset. You're all upset.
I'm not upset. I'm just not crazy about the way Frank handled it, that's all.
I think he's looking for other witnesses in the case. That's why he approached me.
Does he have the money?
I don't think so. I think he wants to get to see his dad on the list. You know, that list.
Oh, that list is totally unconstitutional. It's medieval. I'm opposed to Maiden's Law, and I don't think it's the right way to deal with sex offenders.
Well, I kind of doubt Frank is thinking in the abstract about the politics at this moment.
No, it sounds like he wants revenge.
Mom, you're being so weird about this.
How am I being weird?
You're bizarrely unsympathetic for a social worker and a mom and an otherwise extremely empathetic person.
I'm sorry, honey. I guess it's just too awful to think about.
I should either dash to make a train right now or get the next one.
Oh, get the next one. Doug will be home any minute, and he'll be so disappointed if he misses you.
How's Casey?
I wish you two talked more.
Mom.
Oh, she's great. She's happy. She loves her job. She's a total delight.
She's still with that guy?
I think she's always going to be with that guy. You didn't hear it from me, but you need some vacation time to go visit to Seattle this fall.
That soon?
You didn't hear it from me. Honey, I just want you to be happy.
I am, okay? Stop worrying.
Well, here he is, the man of the house.
Could it be?
Hey, Dad.
Cathy, I think I'm hallucinating. I think our grown son is in our living room.
It's really him.
Hey, kid. How about that?
How was yoga?
Oh, it was good. It kicked my ass. It was really good. I try to get your mother to come with me, but...
Oh, she's a tyrant. This teacher, she's...
This is one of the best yoga teachers in Central New Jersey. You can look it up on the blogs. She's terrific.
I work hard all day, and then in my recreational time, I have to memorize things in another language.
You don't have to memorize the Sanskrit.
Okay, she gives you dirty looks. She'll say, okay, now everybody go into your Pasha, Motanana, Banana Fasna. And then she'll just stand there and look around to see who doesn't know what she's talking about.
Gita's a wonderful teacher.
And that's the other thing. She's a woman from Kansas who goes by Gita. I'm sure her real name is Mary Jo. So, what's the occasion?
What's the occasion?
Jamie got a wonderful new job.
Scene 4, Paige's office. Paige is with a client, Joelle, a thin, anxious woman in her early 20s. Paige is reviewing some paperwork while Joelle waits, trying not to appear nervous.
This looks good, Joelle.
Thank you.
This looks really good.
Thanks.
Any problems?
I felt sort of freaked out on Thursday.
The burrito.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big step for you. I was happy to see it on here.
I had like a minor panic attack.
But you got through it.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Maybe at the beginning, and then I just felt
Anxious.
yeah.
Were you tempted to purge?
No.
That's good. Joelle, look at me. That's really good. And you had a paper due on Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did that go?
Pretty good. Pretty good, I think.
If you think it was pretty good, I bet it was great.
I don't know. It was hard getting started, but then it kind of flowed. I felt good about it.
I don't think it's a coincidence that during a week you were eating well, your concentration was better too.
I was thinking that actually that it was probably connected.
Not that I can promise you that life will be easy if you just feed yourself.
No, I know, but yeah, I get it, I think.
So what else?
Oh, I've been trying the meditation.
Great. And not going so well.
No.
What happens?
I feel like I'm doing it for like 2 seconds, and then I'm like, something flies into my head that's just like completely ridiculous.
Like what?
Like, it's embarrassing. Like, oh my God, what if I'm naked in the student center? Or like, there's a penis in the chocolate, or like, ugh.
There's a penis in the chocolate.
Oh my God, I can't believe I just told you that.
I'm not laughing at you.
I know, but because you're so nice, but it's so embarrassing.
It sounds to me like the thoughts that sort of flood you at those moments might have to do with temptation, chocolate, with your history, obviously, and, well, we haven't really talked about sex in here.
Uh-huh.
But we can. It's certainly a big part of being a human.
But is it normal for you to talk about that with your patients?
It depends on what you want. As one of your assignments for next time, why don't you think about whether you'd like to talk to me about if your sex life is part of what you'd like to work on.
Okay. Or lack thereof.
And keep trying the meditation.
Okay. So, you were a dancer? Sorry,
What? Yes, I was a dancer.
I Googled you.
Oh.
That must have been like, you must have had to work so hard. It's so competitive, right?
It was very hard work, really grueling sometimes, but I loved it.
Why did you stop?
I had an injury, but I would have had to stop in a few years anyway, so the way I look at it, I got a head start.
Do you miss it?
Yes.
You're still like a dancer. You're so pretty.
Is there something else?
You didn't weigh me.
Oh, shit. Excuse me. Sorry, I forgot. You're right.
I can't believe I reminded you. I like dread it all week.
It's good you did. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Scene 5, Jamie's apartment. Jamie and Doug stand opposite each other. A short, awkward beat.
You know, it's a pretty block. I forgot how pretty it is.
We like it. It's a good time of year for this neighborhood.
Will you two get away together at all this summer?
Maybe a weekend trip to Ohio, see Paige's folks. You know, money's tight.
Well, we could help you out. We'd love to help you out.
You know how I feel about that.
But just an early birthday present, a week somewhere in New England.
Thanks, Dad. No. Do you want anything? There's coffee.
I'm interrupting the creative process, aren't I?
Don't worry about it. I was kind of blocked.
Starting something new?
I did a couple interviews with this aid worker who lost an eye and a few fingers to a roadside bomb in Afghanistan. She's a former academic, a semiotician, so I thought I'd have some interesting aspects to it.
Oh, that sounds...
You'd think so, right? But I haven't found the... I mean, I don't want it to just be a piece about mutilation. I don't want to take advantage of that.
Sure.
So, might have to let this one go.
Your mom and I looked up the magazine online. We just loved a few of the things we read. I mean, we think they're very lucky to have you. We think you'll bring them to a new level. But they have some good writers.
Mom wrote me a very sweet email about it.
She and I agree that this health insurance thing is a complete scandal. When she retires, I think your mom is going to get involved in volunteering for single payer reform. She's really pretty exercised about it.
When are you guys gonna retire? You guys talk about it a lot.
Who knows? We're both workaholics. Probably never.
Do you want to sit down?
Do you have a minute?
You drove all the way here. Yeah, I have a minute.
Is Paige
at work.
On a Sunday?
She's trying to keep up the practice she's been building. And on top of school, it's a lot.
And is she almost done with her degree, or?
Not quite, because she had to finish her bachelor's first. And now she's doing the master's part-time, and there's another few years of supervised training.
I see.
It's frustrating because she's so good at her work. She's so intuitive and compassionate. She just wants to concentrate on her practice. So to spend all this time and money to get a piece of paper, it's...
You'd be glad to have it, though, when all is said and done.
Maybe. Not everyone feels about formal education the way you and Mom do.
Oh, I just meant from a practical standpoint, finding patience and...
Yeah, sure. That's true.
I didn't mean to...
No, you're right. It'll help. It's tough, starting your own business.
Sure. You two did not take the easy path. I admire that a lot.
So, what's up?
Jamie, your mom told me about Dennis.
About...
Dennis Lawrence, Frankie's dad.
Was his name Dennis?
Yes.
God, that doesn't ring a bell at all.
I was very upset when she told me that. I'm still upset. She said it sort of, oh, by the way, the next morning. I don't understand her attitude about it. I really don't.
I was surprised. I gotta say, I kind of thought she'd flip out, and she seemed like, I don't know, like she already knew, or...
She didn't know. She did not know. I can tell you that. I think what's happening, she's having some kind of defensive reaction.
Just because it's upsetting?
Well, this is what I wanted to talk to you about. Do you have some memories of being there as a kid?
Being...
At the Lawrences?
No.
They had, I think it was a German Shepherd. And they were way up on the north side by that abandoned factory building. Maybe you remember playing there with Frank?
Did I go there to their house a lot?
No, not a lot.
But sometimes?
Well, rarely. You used to complain about Frank. You said he followed you around at Polly's.
Yes, that I remember.
So we didn't usually send you over there for play dates. We figured you saw each other enough.
Then...
But there was one week, maybe a week and a half, not more than 2 weeks that you stayed there.
Stayed there like...
Yeah. Stayed there.
Why?
Well, that gets into a whole story that really doesn't matter now.
Dad.
Your mother and I were having some marital troubles. We've been married almost 34 years now, and that was the worst part. It wasn't anything particularly sordid, or no one was unfaithful.
Whoa.
Your sister was about 4 months old, and I still can't say this to Cathy, but I think the whole thing was basically because of postpartum. They have drugs now that will take care of it, but back then you just suffered, and she really, really suffered. And I was, God, was I? I wasn't much older than you. Think about that, with 2 little kids, and maybe not yet the sensitive and understanding man you see before you. And I didn't get it. And at some point I basically said, you need to cut this out or I'm leaving. Which, for future reference, is not what you say to a clinically depressed woman who has just born your second child. I was an asshole. I was a real asshole. And she fell apart, and she threatened suicide. And we didn't think it was good for you to be around that. So we asked the Lawrences to take you for a little while. as we got through the worst of it.
What about Nana and Pop-Pop?
What about them?
Why didn't they take me?
Oh, well, because your mother didn't want to tell them. I guess I didn't either, when I think about it.
What about the Levins or the Rosses or the Pascarellas? Any of your good friends?
Same reason.
You were embarrassed.
Well, it was a different time. People weren't really talking about those things.
It was the early 80s in a college town. Dad, it wasn't Victorian England.
I guess we were embarrassed. Yes. Yeah, it seems silly now, but...
But you didn't care what the Lawrences thought of you because you didn't like them?
Well, that's not exactly fair, but they were outside of our social circle. We only knew them because of Polly. It seemed safer.
Safer.
Oh, Jamie, we didn't think anything could have happened to you. We warned you about that kind of thing. You would have told us. You were, even at that age, you had a very adult quality. You were very self-possessed.
How old was I?
Well, if Casey was 4 months, you were almost 5.
Did I see you during the week?
Yes. Maybe not enough. You still went to Polly's during the day, and I know we saw you a few times separately, but we were pretty preoccupied.
Wasn't I homesick?
You didn't complain. The Lawrences, well...
What, Dad, what?
I remember them saying how good you were when we picked you up, how you had been so good. I remember feeling very proud, feeling like you were the most mature and reasonable one out of all of us. It seemed like the best thing to do at the time.
Sure.
You don't remember any of this?
No.
You don't think...
No, I don't think so.
I've been living in hell since your mom told me this, kiddo. I didn't sleep at all last night.
Well, you can forget about it. Nothing happened. I'm fine.
I know you're fine. But shit, I'm glad to hear that.
I mean, even if something had happened, which it didn't, I'm 32 years old. I'm all the things I was 3 days ago before I saw Frank. I have a career and a beautiful girlfriend. I don't buy into this idea that something that may have happened when I was 4 can change all that. I just don't buy it.
Right. That's absolutely right. But you don't think anything did happen?
No, I don't.
Good. Good.
Dad.
Yeah? What?
Thanks for coming by.
I wish we saw you more. It's silly that we don't.
Scene 6, the nursing home. Polly sits in a wheelchair, gazing off absently. She wears thick glasses. Jamie enters. He stops and stands, looking at her for a little while.
Polly.
Hello?
It's Jamie. Jamie Perrin.
Jamie? I can't believe it.
It's really me.
I think I must be dreaming.
Nope.
Come here. Look at you. You're so old. You have wrinkles here. And here, oh, you were such a tiny thing.
It's not polite to point out a gentleman's wrinkles, you know?
What happened to you?
I just grew up, that's all.
Jamie Perrin.
Yep, that's me.
Ah, well, sit down. Tell me everything. Do you have a girlfriend?
Yeah, same one I told you about last time, Paige. Paige.
Paige. How long have you been together?
Almost 6 years.
Oh, so you're married.
No.
No? Not married?
No, not married.
Oh, and why is that?
Well, lots of reasons. Ideologically, you know, discrimination against our gay friends who can't get married, and it's a fundamentally a religious institution. Neither of us being religious. How are you?
Me? Oh, I'm fine. It's very nice here. Food's good. A lot of people complain, but I think it's pretty good.
Well, good.
And you know, Frank came to see me yesterday.
Really?
Drinking. How much?
Maybe it wasn't yesterday.
Something
You remember Frank?
Of course.
He was such a funny little kid.
Yeah.
Really.
I always worried about him. You know, he used to write me from prison.
But Frank was in prison?
Sure, a couple of times.
Do you know why?
Well, it was a few different things. He always had problems. You remember how he used to lie?
No.
Yeah, but he seems all right. He turned out all right after all that. All the troubles his father had.
You knew about all that?
Well, of course I knew. About Dennis being out of work, on and off. He used to come around the house and sit with me while I watched you boys. He was bored. That's what I think. It's a terrible thing not to feel useful.
Huh.
Frank wanted to tell me, what was it he wanted to tell me?
About the signs of spring.
Yes. Did you know that? That's exactly it, the signs of spring. He says he still looks out for them. The things kids remember. Who knows what I said to keep you boys entertained? I was making it up as I went along because, you know, I never had any of my own kids.
I know.
So what did I know? I was just making it up. The signs of spring. I hardly even remember saying that.
You did great. You were a great babysitter.
Oh. Well, I did my best.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that my parents paid you. Did you know that? Until I was in 5th grade, I think, and my mom asked me to bring you a check. I was shocked.
You thought I took care of you out of the goodness of my heart? Is that it?
Well, yeah, I thought you just liked me.
I did like you. And I had to finish paying the mortgage after Rod died. Do you remember Rod?
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
I think he died before I was born.
No. Did he? Wasn't that long ago.
My memory's not as good as Frank's. I don't remember the signs of spring. I wrote down a few things I do remember about being at your home, your house. Would you like to hear them?
Yes, I certainly would.
Sirloin burger soup. That's disgusting looking back.
You loved it. Also, Chikorina.
Chikorina. Oh, hunting for chestnuts in the fall and then polishing them with furniture polish.
That's right.
And then what did we do with them?
You forgot about them, usually, so I threw them out. We also dipped autumn leaves in paraffin wax. Do you remember that? No? You remember the chestnuts, but not the leaves? Isn't that funny? I thought the leaves were better.
This is a very faint one. Being homesick from school, being at your house, and lying on your sofa, which was, I think, scratchy.
Our sofa? No.
It wasn't scratchy?
Not as I recall.
Okay. Then I must be thinking of... Oh yeah, this is the last one, but it's really clear. You took us to play in that creek down at the end of 6th Avenue.
What was he doing, the great god Pan?
What?
That's what I used to recite to you on our way to the creek. What was he doing, the great god Pan, down in the reeds by the river, spreading ruin and
I feel like I almost remember that.
Something. I don't remember. Oh, isn't that terrible?
I feel like I almost remember that.
Look it up. It's by
well, by the creek, there was that vine. You remember? And the older kids would always swing across it, but you wouldn't let us. But we must have been whining, and you finally decided you would try it out first to see if it was safe.
Oh, Lord!
Which we thought was pretty cool. Polly swinging on a vine like Tarzan across the creek. You got major points from us on that. And I still remember you taking a few steps back and running. And I don't think I had ever seen you run before. And it looked like, and then you jumped and you swung and the vine broke. And you fell what seemed like 100 feet into the water. I don't know, I remember the creek. And the sound of Frank just wailing, and you just came stumbling out of the creek, and you were covered in mud, and you had lost your glasses. Your face looked so strange without your glasses. And you ran to Frank and lifted him and held him, but he wouldn't stop crying. And I couldn't tell with the mud, but it seemed like you might be crying too. And I stood a little bit away and covered my ears and looked at my feet because I didn't like looking at you.
Well, that's not exactly how I remember it. I remember it being pretty funny.
Scene 7, Jamie's apartment.
I'm completely at a loss.
You shouldn't have read it.
Well, I did, and I'm not sorry.
I don't know how to have this conversation. I don't know how to be with someone who doesn't trust me.
That's right. You don't know how to be with me. It's a relief to finally hear you say that.
You're not taking any responsibility for this. For going into my email and...
You haven't said anything, and I'm losing it, and I have no access to you. That's it. That's what I haven't been able to articulate. I have no access to you. This proves it more than anything, that you would keep that from me.
You're not exactly being compassionate.
You didn't let me. You denied me the opportunity to be compassionate by freezing me out. You told your mom, who you don't even like.
Of course I like my mom. I love my mom. What kind of thing is that to say?
You're not close to your parents. You pretend to be close as a family, but you're not.
Okay. I'm glad I've provided you with another opportunity for this old refrain. My family isn't really close. We're cold and distant, whereas your family is so close and chummy and perfect. And all of our problems as a couple originate from my fucked up cold family as opposed to your actually equally fucked up codependent family.
Are you done?
You read my email. You're probably thinking, what, that I was cheating on you?
The thought occurred to me, yes.
So I'm not. So you figured that out?
Oh, congratulations, Jamie. I guess I should be grateful to you for the most basic sign of respect. If you were cheating on me, it would make sense that you would hide it from me. That would be logical. That you would hide this from me, that you might have been, that I can't understand.
I am doing my best. Okay? I am doing my best. I was going to tell you, the timing is pretty fucked up with everything we have going on. Wouldn't you agree? Can you maybe put yourself in my shoes and imagine why I wouldn't have gone around telling you?
So you think something might have happened to you?
I don't know, I guess.
Jamie, what do you remember?
Nothing. I don't remember anything. When he first told me, I was pretty sure it was a mistake. And this guy, you know, he's a mess. And he served prison time, apparently. I don't know whether to, but I guess I'm starting to think it might be true.
You mean that you were abused?
Well, that I was, yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Like, how? Do you have a sense, or?
How? You want me to speculate about things I don't remember?
I guess I'm just wondering, how severe, for how long, when?
I don't know. I don't know, and I don't know!
Please don't talk to me like that.
Apparently, I stayed there for about a week when I was about 4.5. So probably whatever it was happened then.
A whole week? Why?
Because my parents' marriage almost fell apart, which I didn't know about till 3 days ago.
God, Jamie, well, that makes a lot of sense.
What?
It makes sense to me. I feel this immediate, I don't know, recognition.
Are you intentionally being a bitch, or do you actually think that's helpful?
Everything we've been talking about, your emotional distance from me, your fears about having kids.
Oh, it's very convenient for you to be able to blame.
Place.
I do not have sexual problems.
You had serious sexual problems for almost a year.
The same year you were fat. Did you ever think about that? That maybe it wasn't entirely my problem, that I didn't want to fuck you. I'm so sorry. Was that out of bounds? Am I being an asshole? You know, I really can't help it because something terrible happened to me when I was a child. By the way, I'm pretty sure you got knocked up on purpose. Oops, did I say that? Sometimes I say shitty, mean things like that because I was sexually abused.
You know, I did miss a couple pills, and I would have asked you to use a condom if I thought you'd be able to keep it up.
I'm not even sure anything happened. You don't get to put my life, my whole life, in terms of it. You don't get to do that.
Listen to me. When I had to stop dancing, I was bereft. You know this. 28 years. I had missed so much to be a dancer. I knew nothing else. I had nothing else. And then it was just gone from me. And now it seems like it's happening again. The last 6 years of my life, with you, all the work I've done, all I've put into us, I can't keep starting over. I need to feel like I'm building something. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And if I'm not building something with you, I need to start building something with someone else.
I understand.
How could you not tell me you were going through this?
I don't know. Paige.
Scene 8, in darkness. Unmute.
Okay. Honey, can you hear me?
Yes, Mom, I can hear you fine. You don't have to talk any louder on our cell phone, you know?
What? Hold on. What?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, good. I'm still not used to talking on this thing. Am I waking you up?
No.
I'm on a walk on the north side. I love Highland Park this time of year.
You sound old.
What?
Your voice, Mom. You sound so old. You sound like an old lady. When did that happen?
Have you been drinking?
Yes.
How much?
A lot.
Is something wrong? Honey, I've been feeling terrible about how I reacted last week when you told me about Frank. Did you get my email?
Yeah.
I've been thinking that I really should have figured it out, what was happening, because we talked about it all the time. And Polly, and your dad, what on earth is going wrong with that child? And looking back, it was completely obvious. And we sent you there for a week. Jamie, can you still hear me?
Loud and clear.
Well, you're so quiet over there. I keep thinking the phone cut out. Oh, look, here I am at the creek. It's so filthy. It used to make me so crazy that Polly took you here. But I didn't say anything. I treated her like another parent, you know. I just didn't want to tell her what to do. I thought she should be allowed to have her own ideas. Mostly it worked.
What time is it?
Oh, I don't know, 1, 2.
What are you doing out?
When I was a little girl, I was always like this when the weather changed. On the first really warm night, I couldn't sleep. Now I'm approaching Polly's house. Did I tell you an Orthodox family moved in there? It must be a huge family. They built all these additions. It's a monstrosity.
Oh, this is what I want to ask you. Was her sofa scratchy?
What?
Was her sofa scratchy? Polly's.
Honey, what are you talking about?
I distinctly remember her having a scratchy sofa, and she said it wasn't scratchy.
Yes, it was a cheap old thing, and it was scratchy. But why in the world would you ask me about it?
Right. How could she not remember it was scratchy? It was her sofa.
Jamie, she had dementia. Give the poor old woman a break.
But it was so scratchy. I mean, I barely remember anything, but I remember that. Mom? Mom?
I'm just looking at Polly's house.
Don't cry.
I'm not.
Mom.
We don't really say I love you in our family. We didn't say it in my household growing up. But I never imagined when I had my own kids that we wouldn't say it. So many things you expect from yourself and you don't deliver.
You didn't do anything wrong.
You know, I feel disappointed about so many things. I don't want you to feel that way. I don't think Casey feels that way, but I'm afraid you do.
You can't protect me from feeling disappointed.
Well, I want to.
You can't. Where are you now?
I'm still in front of Polly's. Where are you?
I'm at the subway. I should go down. Will you walk home before Dad wakes up and gets worried?
If he wakes up, he'll call.
Mom, will you go home?
Yeah. Jamie?
Mm-hmm.
Paige's birthday is coming up this week. I put something in the mail. If she doesn't like it, there's a gift receipt.
I'm sure she'll like it.
Well, I like to take you two out to dinner, but we don't want to intrude. Why don't you let us know, will you? Will you let me know what you need?
Yeah.
Take care, Jamie.
Mom?
Scene 9, Paige's office. Paige and Joelle. Paige is holding Joelle's food diary.
So, what happened here?
I'm not sure.
Last week was such a good week.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think you do know.
Not really.
No?
Uh-uh.
Did you feel anxious about last week? After I weighed you?
Not that I remember.
No?
I always feel anxious, but I mean, it was a lot for 1 week.
It was 2 pounds, which was great.
We had talked about 1 pound a week being the goal.
Uh-huh. So did that make you feel angry at me? That you had gained more than 1?
No, I just thought I should adjust what I was eating down, like a little.
Mm-hmm. So that's why on 3 different days this week you had carrots dipped in salsa for dinner. You were doing so well the last few weeks, Joelle. I was really happy with your progress.
Yeah, but it was just fast, and I thought your whole philosophy was that I should be in control. So I decided I want to go a little slower.
I do want you to be in control, but part of being in control means not being in thrall to this disease.
If I gained weight at this rate for 3 months, I would be gigantic.
Honey, no, you wouldn't. I think you'd look great.
That is so easy for you to say when you're like perfect and gorgeous.
I don't always feel perfect and gorgeous.
But you are, whereas
Honey.
Stop calling me that.
Calling you?
I don't want to talk about sex.
What?
You gave me that as an assignment, and I thought about it, and I don't want to talk about my sex life in here.
Okay. You don't have to. I'm getting the feeling that last week's meeting really freaked you out. Sometimes recovery can be scary.
I don't know why it should be such a big deal that I only want to gain 1 pound a week. That's what we agreed on in the first place.
It's not an exact science. Some weeks are going to be a little more, some a little less.
So this was a little less.
This week, I'm sure you lost weight. This week was a big step backward.
Well, sorry.
Hey, what's going on, huh?
My parents want me to see someone who takes insurance. I told them I wanted to keep working with you, and I told them about your approach and everything, but they said, I don't know if I can keep seeing you.
It should be up to you who you see, not your parents. You're an adult.
Right, but I'll try talking to them again, but I'm just saying I'm not sure if it's going to work out.
If that's really what's going on, I can give you a recommendation. Someone really good who takes insurance. But if what's happening to you is that you're scared of the progress you're making with me and you're running away.
No, that's not it.
Good. Because you're young, you haven't been doing this for that long, you have a really good shot at getting better. You could choose not to live a life in the shadow of this idiot fucking... You could not get into the habit of losing things. I just want to make sure you understand that.
Do I have to get weighed today?
Yeah, you do.
Sorry. I know I owe you for a couple of months. Depending on whether I'll just mail it to you if I don't see you.
That's fine. Let me get you that phone number of...
Okay. I also think just with what you have already taught me, I could probably do it on my own. I'm really grateful. I hope you, for everything you've, I have to do it in my own time, you know?
Yeah, I do know.
Scene 10, outdoors, a beautiful late spring day. Jamie sits with Frank. A silence.
The other thing I've been wondering is whether his memory is reliable after all this time either. Who knows what was fantasy, what was reality, whether he mixed up what happened with different kids.
It's true.
So I can't take what he says as the absolute truth either. It's just another piece of the puzzle.
Right.
Thanks for coming down here again, man. I know it's a long trip.
Just because I came doesn't mean I have to tell you. You can still change your mind.
Thanks. How's, I forgot his name, your boyfriend?
I think I told you his name. Lucas. He's good. He's crazy. He's great.
I also think there's a reason for forgetting. Evolutionary. This whole pop psych obsession with uncovering and I've been wondering, honestly, if I should be pissed at you for getting in touch.
I understand that.
Has anyone else you've contacted remembered anything?
No, but I didn't think they would.
Why not?
Because they were all Well, according to my dad, asleep when it, because his MO was to.
Hang on. Not ready yet.
I saw Polly when I went down to make the official report in Highland Park.
She told me.
You saw her too? I didn't recognize her. It's so weird to think of all the people who mean so much to us and then are just gone. When I moved, losing Polly and you, I think that was the first time I really experienced grief.
Are you staying in touch with your dad?
We haven't had any contact since that meeting with the minister. I don't plan to speak to him again.
I'm sorry.
Me too. It's a fucking shame. I really like the guy.
Man, I gotta ask you something. I hope you won't take offense.
Okay.
Were you in prison?
Huh. Okay.
Sorry, it's just...
No, I understand. I understand why you'd want to know that. I would have told you anytime you asked that I was.
Uh-huh.
Because I struggled with addiction for almost 9 years. From when I was 18 until...
Sorry, you don't have to explain
No, I was convicted of 2 felonies, both nonviolent during that time, stealing, forging checks.
Okay.
Not proud of it, but I'm proud of getting better. How's Paige?
Okay, sorry about that.
No problem.
That feels really good.
You're like cement. You're a brick back there.
Yeah. She's getting an abortion today. So
Oh.
I wanted to have it. I decided. But she felt that we weren't ready. That would put too much pressure on our relationship. She doesn't feel sure enough, she said, of me. Her sister was there with her. She didn't want me to come.
She'll be fine.
She has some. She's struggled with depression and other mental health. Like I'm worried, especially since I know it's not what she really wanted. And I read some women can have a bad hormonal response.
She'll be okay. You'll be there. She'll get through it.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, I've been in a lot of support groups for a lot of different shit. And I've seen couples come back from way worse. I mean, way worse. She could have left and had it on her own. That's what she wanted. Sounds to me like she chose you.
The other thing is that in the process, the presence of you and a minister and... Was your mother there? What makes you think he would be motivated to tell the truth?
Jamie, you know what? Let's not do this.
No, I want to. I'm just...
No, we don't have to. I mean, you have my number and my email, or if you need me to do it in person, I could come back, or you could come to Ithaca.
No, this is ridiculous. I don't know what the fuck I'm so afraid of. We're talking about something that may or may not have been happened like 27 years ago. I mean, it can't be worse than what's going on in my life right now. So it can't be worse than that.
What if I wrote it down and handed it to you? Then you could decide when or whether to read it in your own time.
You must think I'm such a pussy.
Nope.
Wouldn't it take a long time to write it all out?
No, not really.
What was he doing? The great god Pan, down in the reeds by the river, spreading ruin and scattering ban, splashing and
paddling
with hoofs of a goat,
hooves
breaking the golden lilies
afloat.
Like the dragonfly on the river. What I should have said to her is that it's great news that she can get pregnant. She was so worried that she wouldn't be able to because she was sick for a while. So that's really good news. It's what I should have said in the first place.
End of play.